interview, and he said people that want open borders and like the mass migration either are stupid or they hate their country. And that's what I think he thinks of our government. They're either stupid or they hate the country because he thinks the way it's being run, maybe. I don't know. Or he could just be an imperialist who wants to take over new land. Or, we'll find out. Sorry. But he's got this weird demeanor about him. Like the way he was talking to WF today, he's like really I'm not in a mood to mess around. I don't know. And the thing is with Canada, he didn't mention us before ever. Like never. I don't even think I heard him. The only time he talked about it during his first term was when Trudeau pissed him off at some summit about being two-faced with him. But other than that, didn't say anything about Canada. Nothing. He wanted to build the pipeline, all that stuff. So he clearly something's on his mind about Canada, about the leadership in Canada. And I believe, like, not a word of during the election either. So whether for good or for ill, he knows something that we don't. We as a Canadian public don't. And I'm sure, he's very powerful. He's got a lot of information at his disposal. And maybe the stuff he's seen is very upsetting to him. And now that he's in power, he's exercising his full authority to do what he thinks he needs to do. Maybe that's bullshit. Maybe he's just being an asshole. I can't see him being that. Like, it doesn't... We've been a dependable ally over the years. We know we're a junior partner in we never rock the boat, all this. So he might have seen something really horrible. I mean, we do have MPs here, unnamed MPs, who are under influence from foreign governments, whether it's China or India or any other governments, Israel, more so the United States there. Got to invest where the power is. But anyway, we don't know the names of those MPs. I'm sure President Trump knows the names of those MPs. Maybe he knows other names too. So he doesn't seem very impressed with our leadership at all because he's giving them zero respect. I don't think he extends that disrespect to the Canadian people. Maybe he does. I don't think so. I know our leadership here is rotten. What I've seen the last 10 years, it's enough to... It's crazy. And it didn't really hit until COVID, where you had time to really sit around and look and see how things were heading. So, yeah, the very least we can say is things in Canada aren't boring. I mean, I remember we were watching the American election and we were kind of bored over here in Canada. We were just so fixated on this election, which was like over a year's period. And we thought, it wasn't too long ago, the States was threatening civil war and all that. Now they're going to be expanding to Canada. It doesn't really make any sense. Unless he knows something. But we got lots of potential scandals. We got the MPs. We have the Indians, Khalistan, Indian, Hindu problem, conflict, and all sorts of Indian subversion, which extends into the United States. We got the Chinese lab theory or whatever. I'm not too familiar with it, but I know it's something because there's been no information released in Winnipeg. believe Trudeau tried to let Chinese troops train in Canada, in the Arctic, until that was kiboshed by the U.S. So I'm sure there's a long list that we don't know about. He's probably reading this and it's like, if I don't do something with these guys now, it's just gotta nip this in the bud. I don't know. I'd like to see some. I'd like to see some information. If there is any, maybe there isn't any. But enough about, like, as for our side, we got no competent leader. I think Danielle Smith's probably been the best one. In Alberta, she's just cool on her heels, waiting, trying to resolve it peacefully instead of getting all heated up like Doug Ford. Now the guy called an election. Hold on. That was my paw. I twisted my water open and made a buzzing sound. So, yeah, we got the other ones running around like with their chickens with their head cut off, and the Danielle's keeping her cool for now, I think. Very unpredictable times. And, yeah, the guy calls an election and he's going to say, oh, it's a Trump election. It's like, you were supporting Trump not too long ago, you dummy. We're screwed with Doug Ford. I think they'll write a good book about it someday. The story's not over with him yet, but they will. It'll make Doug Rob's crack look like nothing. So yeah. That's the biggest story. The biggest province in Canada is going into an election for no reason. Absolutely no reason. Trump hasn't put one tariff yet in Canada. Meanwhile, this dummy premier of ours, this dummy premier of ours, he's acting all tough, smart, like he's not that smart. We have to do a Wikipedia on him, see what he's done in his life, besides a little politics. But anyway, he's already said stupid shit. Like, oh, we're going to move the American liquor off the LCBO shelving. And it's like, you know how stupid you sound? Very stupid. So, at the same time that he's bashing... Oh, look, here. I'll show you right now. Sorry. That was a quick commercial. But anyway, they're putting these commercials all over Fox News and American television, saying how great friends we are. Is that it? That's it. No? Okay, that's not it. Anyway, they're running all these commercials. The Ontario government Ontario government spending millions of dollars running commercials in the U.S. saying how great Ontario's relationship is with the U.S. PR campaign, basically. The problem is the Premier of Ontario is slagging Donald Trump and threatening a trade war and all blustery at the same time. So it's like, why would you spend millions of dollars on commercials to try and, it's a charm offensive. And then basically cancel out all those millions of dollars that you spent by opening your fat mouth. So that's the guy who we got